Hey guys, what's up? This is Hunter Starcraft, and I'm going to be casting another pro-Korean 1 versus 1 matchup today. Two of my favorite players, guys that I've been following for a long time, duking it out today on Naga Caverns. Down at the bottom left position, our blue Protoss player, a fellow Canadian and member of Team Liquid, we have HuK. HuK is the only foreigner in Code S right now, which is a pretty tremendous accomplishment. You know, 31 Koreans and 1 Canadian. Yeah, he's the lone foreigner, and he's battled all the way up from Code A, making it through the Code A tournament, and now competing in Code S. HuK is just... he has improved so much in the past few months in the time that he's spent in Korea, in the OGS house. He, I mean, just... it's going to happen. You're really engulfed in StarCraft 2. You spend all day practicing, training, talking with your buddies, your clanmates, and really improving. So HuK is just an incredible Protoss player. HuK's opponent can't take anything away from him. From the team, Incredible Miracle, another Korean pro gamer, MVP. MVP has 2 GSL championships under his belt already. One from the Solo League and 1 championship from the World League. HuK's probe here actually has not spotted the barracks yet. Kind of an interesting place to put the barracks. And yeah, it's pretty smart. You keep HuK, you know, on guard just for a moment or two there. HuK could have definitely thought that there was a proxy barracks going on. But he has found it now, and he's just going to harass... well, he was harassing the SCV for a moment. And but there was another SCV that came off to help fend off this probe. This probe only 10 hit points left, and a Marine on the way is definitely going to force the probe out of the Terran base. HuK is just going to scurry back in, try to spot to see if there might be one more gas geyser down, but no, not just yet. There's an orbital command on the way, but no second refinery. Back in HuK's base, he's getting his second assimilator now, putting the cybernetics core down, and not getting a zealot out just yet. Going to take a couple of minerals home as the SCV is finally making its way into HuK's base as well. Of course, SCV scouts can afford to be a little bit later, especially on a 2-player map like Naga Caverns. You know, if this were a 4-player map, you're going to definitely want to scout sooner. But given the cybernetics core isn't even up yet, there's not going to be a zealot out. And, of course, no stalker. And you're going to need at least a stalker or a sentry to remove the SCV from the base. So he's going to start a stalker now, going to chrono boost it out, and this SCV is going to have to leave momentarily. Interesting wall-off choice here by MVP, doing this slightly less orthodox 3 supply depot wall-off. You usually see the barracks go down in the middle and then 2 additional supply depots to complete the wall-off. Reactor done on the barracks, pumping out Marines 2 at a time. Second barracks is completed, as well as a tech lab, still just mining off of 1 gas, however. This SCV does escape through the secret backdoor hallway here, and a couple of stalkers, well, sorry, 1 stalker, and then the probe just picked up the Naga as well. Another stalker on the way, and they're just going to sort of probe the front of MVP's base, no pun intended. This stalker can try to kite the Marines just a little bit. Of course, stalkers outrange Marines by 1, and of course they're faster than Marines as well. So if you micro perfectly, in theory, 1 stalker can take out, you know, 37 Marines, but I'm sure that HuK doesn't want to spend all of his APM on that, as we have 2 more gateways nearly complete, and warp gate research being chrono boosted at this point. The second stalker is picking up this Naga watchtower, a 3rd stalker as well. Taking a look at the units tab, 3 stalkers versus 9 Marines, along with a couple of marauders. It looks like MVP might actually be trying to pressure here, and he spots the pylon. Excellent route for MVP to take. This is a very common place for Protoss players to put proxy pylons on this map. MVP just slowly taking some map control back from his opponent. Command center on the way. And this all sort of ties together the opening for MVP, given how fast he's getting his command center after his 2 barracks, 1 of each flavor. Putting the command center down, it kind of makes sense that the refinery is only going up at this point. It's not even going to be active until just about the 7-minute mark. Another proxy pylon in position here, but yet again, MVP here, as if he's like telepathic or something, just knows exactly where HuK's units are, and HuK cancels that proxy pylon after his probe gets taken out. This Naga being occupied by MVP. Quite a bit of map control going to the Terran player. Oh, MVP just a little slow to react. Maybe he could have pulled that Marine back and saved his life, but either way, it's not really the end of the world. Now expanding himself, HuK is putting down a Nexus and a pylon right next to the Nexus. Currently producing off of 3-gate robo, putting down a 4th gateway right now. He's getting his first observer out and hasn't used the robotics facility for anything else just yet. He does have a lot of sentries out already, and this is very this is not surprising given HuK's style. He really loves force field micro, so it doesn't surprise me to get like 5 sentries out this early. Now producing more zealots as well, just warping them in down at the natural. MVP's got lots of infantry out. No upgrades for either player just yet, although Stimpack is just completed. I'm wondering with his engineering bay when MVP is going to choose to get a +1 attack. The missile turret has gone into position as well. This missile turret provides detection all the way up the ramp, nearly up the ramp, and you know, for the majority of his natural expansion as well, just in case HuK did decide to go Dark Templar. I'm sure that, you know, it's just a safety precaution having that missile turret up. Factory going down on the low ground, and are we going to see some Maynarded SCVs? I would certainly expect so. Keep an eye out on the minimap. As these Stalkers are forced back with Stim Marines, they are able to catch one of the Stalkers and take him out. This observer spots the army. Of course, he was already aware of that because of the Stalkers that had the Naga, and I think HuK should be able to hold this. He does have a lot of units. He's got a lot of force fields saved up, and here we go. This is going to be a big engagement. 4 force fields going down, creating a straight wall, and it's going to allow Stalkers to abuse their range, taking out a lot of infantry, but a lot of good harassment as well. At least 4 probes got taken out there as well before MVP decided to retreat through the back hallway there. So that was a pretty close exchange. If we could just take a look at units killed, we see actually heavily favoring MVP. He's killed more units, and he's killed way more workers, 6 workers compared to just 1 for HuK. So, I mean, it's very close, even though MVP does have a slight lead in the units lost tab. He's done a bit of a better job there, but it's not the end of the world either way. We have a robotics bay on the way. Now 5 gateways, and we're going to see some Colossi coming out momentarily. I'm wondering what what MVP is actually going to have to deal with that. Very foolish observer flying straight into the missile turret, easily gets taken out there. And after putting a reactor down on the factory, MVP lifts off a starport, puts that down. It's going to be pumping out medevacs 2 at a time. And Tech Lab's going down on 2 new barracks. So off of 2 base, MVP is going to be producing off 4 barracks with 3 Tech Labs and 1 reactor. And of course the starports pumping out medevacs very quickly. So just very infantry heavy, and as a result, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some upgrades. He's queuing up armor after attack, so very shortly MVP is going to have 1-1 upgrades, whereas HuK, on the other hand, I mean, does he even have a forge? I do not believe he has a forge at this point. So no upgrades yet for HuK, and he's going to want to do something about that as soon as he gets a Colossus or 2 out. Now that the robotics bay is complete, he's chrono boosting out the thermal lance upgrade. He's going to get at least a couple Colossi before, maybe before putting down oh, he's finally getting a forge. Okay, so he's getting a forge, and he's getting a Twilight Council as well at this point. So I'm actually curious what HuK's ultimate plan is here. He's kind of getting tech all over the map. I wonder if that scan actually managed to take out an observer. I didn't see any observer like remains on the ground there, but a little bit hard to tell. Complete map control going to MVP at this point. Let's take a look at HuK's vision. He does have 1 observer left. He knows that actually MVP is putting down a 3rd command center, and that's really vital intel for this observer to spot the command center as soon as it begins construction. HuK can really plan what he wants to do next, and with that intel, it looks like HuK might be looking to move out shortly. He does have a lot of units. He's got 1 Colossi out already, a 2nd Colossi on the way, and does MVP know about this? Yes, he certainly does. With that scan, he's going to see the Colossi, and as a result, he is now pumping out Vikings. Does he have any Vikings out already? No, just 6 medevacs. 6 medevacs seems like a good number given the infantry that MVP has. So now he's going to transition into Vikings to try to deal with the Colossi. I find it quite intriguing that the Twilight Council is already down as well. So that will actually allow HuK to transition out of this if need be. And we can see HuK isn't actually, well, he's actually just putting a 3rd Colossus on the robotics facility right now. So it looks like we're going to have a big engagement momentarily, and this is a pretty good time to engage for MVP just because +1 attack finished, and right now +1 armor finish. He's got stim packs and concussive shells as well. Let's take a look at this engagement. Nice spread by HuK. He's keeping his sentries back and his zealots back as well. He's just using the extremely long range of Colossi to snipe whatever he can, and actually forcing MVP back. He's going to land the command center. He's probably going to morph it into an orbital before he attempts to engage HuK's army that is just getting more and more scary. Although HuK is behind by 21 supply, I mean, he still has sort of the tech advantage with these Colossi out. He's getting charged, and he still is not, he's not producing any more upgrades from his forge. He does have +1 attack though, and that's going to be very important, especially given the upgrades for our Terran player. Orbital command is completed, so there's going to be a ton of mules. I'd certainly expect a mineral surplus from MVP. And MVP actually stationing some Marines here at the back door, but I like that HuK has 2 pylons in position here and 2 supply depots as well. So that's a, you know, not a pro tip, but definitely something you're going to want to incorporate into your play. Of course, you can't see behind the high grass without structures there. And it also delays a push just slightly. MVP once again trying to take his gold base. We don't usually see orbital commands landing on the gold. More often you see the planetary fortress go down there. But Colossi can easily outrange planetaries as well. So, I mean, the orbital command, not an awful choice in this scenario. It looks like we're going to be setting the stage here for a very large engagement as these Vikings now hanging out on top of this Naga cavern. 2 EMPs going down, taking out most of the energy from at least half the sentries. Some of the sentries still do have plenty of energy for force fields though, and that force field wall off does able to push the Terran army back. Now these Marines in here doing a lot of damage as well, killing a lot of SCVs, but all these Zealots warping in are going to deal with those Marines. I'm sure that they're going to die momentarily. Now these force fields going down, preventing the escape of the infantry. These Colossi, though, doing a lot of damage. The Vikings were a little bit late there. They were sort of hanging out above the Naga cavern for too long. The Colossi did so much damage. Some decent EMPs did go down a moment ago, but, you know, regardless of those, it looks like MVP does get forced back, and HuK holds his 3rd base quite convincingly while warping in more reinforcements. He's getting +2 attack, and +2 attack is going to be finished in just a moment, so completely neglecting armor upgrades, which is a little bit surprising given the bio ball of MVP. Do we have any additional tech? I don't think so. We got to take a look at the battle here. Is this orbital command actually going to get sniped? It's burning. And all these mules really wasted. Those are some fresh mules that can no longer mine. It looks like HuK is going to be forced back, but, you know, the damage has kind of been done, forcing that orbital command to lift off, and, of course, just basically burning these mules. Like, they're not able to mine. That's a lot of resources lost, and a very worthwhile exchange for HuK's favor. As continuing to Chrono Boost upgrades. Now his +2 attack, he's getting +1 armor at this point, and actually doing a little transition into Immortals. Blink on the way as well. So no more Colossi whatsoever. No Colossi in HuK's units composition, and he's not producing anymore, which means that these 9 Vikings are going to be pretty useless at this stage of the game. I really like HuK's decision to go with that. Not even getting High Templar out just yet. I mean, they would certainly be nice in this situation as well, but, you know, you can't have all the tech on the tech tree whenever you want it. So HuK's sticking with what he's got. A couple of Guardian Shields going up. Lots of Zealots charging in. With that recent charge buff, they're doing a lot of damage. Stalkers, of course, backing up as well, backing up his army, warping in more and more Stalkers, a couple of Immortals as well. In an ideal world, you're going to want to target fire the Marauders with Immortals. Immortals just do an absurd amount of damage to armored units, and of course, no Templar Archives, but we do have a Dark Shrine on the way, and I absolutely love this play. I think that Protoss players really limit themselves with Dark Templar to thinking, you know, they're going to be an early game harassing unit, and not enough Protoss players incorporate Dark Templar into their actual army. They more use it like, oh, let's see if I can get like a dozen kills with these Dark Templar. I really like HuK's usage of them in this game. He's just finishing up his Dark Shrine now, so we're going to see what he's going to do with them. Just blinking in, sniping a couple Vikings, doing whatever damage HuK can. And MVP, though, has a ton of minerals right now. When you saturate a gold base with this many mules, oh man, you definitely have a pretty huge surplus of minerals. And just going to be, you know, carpet bombing some Marauders. It looks like they are going to snipe the robotics facility, take out some pylons as well. But lots of Stalkers here in position to reinforce. Very fast reaction actually there from HuK to respond to that drop that I don't think HuK saw coming at all. And at the same time, MVP realizes there are a lot of Stalkers back in HuK's main, and maybe this is a good time to strike. So I'm going to remove the HUD for you guys as we have a big engagement here. Colossi do get taken out. Lots of nice EMPs going down on the main Protoss ball. Ooh, if he can blink in and snipe some of these medevacs, that would be really good. And looks like he is just doing just that. He's targeting down a lot of the medevacs. A lot of the Marauders get sliced up by the Zealots. And we got to keep an eye on the minimap as well. No other drops going on at this point. A ton of medevacs, but is HuK going to bother chasing them down? He's got Stalkers here. He's going to take out one medevac. And, I mean, he doesn't really need to engage those medevacs. They're kind of harmless, although HuK doesn't realize the medevacs are actually empty. And HuK going for a counterattack here at the gold base, where there are two more orbital commands morphing in, but with this many Protoss forces, these Zealots charging in, and Immortals backing them up, and the Stalkers finally joining the fight as well after they finish up with their medevac hunting. It's looking to be pretty favorable for our Protoss player HuK here. He's just doing so much damage at this point. All the SCVs are off the line. SCVs versus 2-1 Zealots. Not a good fight for the SCVs at all. Morphing in units back in his main, warping them into deflect that drop as well. And at this point, HuK is getting dangerously close to the production facilities from a Terran player. He could blink past the wall, and I think that is going to be just about it for MVP. It's actually a really cool game because, I mean, these players are going to be going up against each other in Code S. They're very familiar with each other's play style, and, you know, something of a rivalry as well. I've seen a number of matches between these two guys, and they always make for a good showing, and that was definitely the case today as well. These guys duke it out in a pretty intense macro matchup here on Naga Caverns. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm going to be doing more casting of the pro matches this week, maybe some more of the Rebel Yell campaign. I just uploaded 3 videos from that. I'd recommend checking out Mission 3. It's the most recent video other than this one, just because the tactics I used at the end of that were pretty entertaining. I don't know, I thought it was fun. So I just wanted to mention that, and I guess just stay tuned for more. So thanks for watching. If you guys enjoy the content, be sure to click subscribe just above the video, and until next time, take care. Peace out, guys.